Well, hello everyone. This is another project we got here to do. Um, this is off of a router, and you can see that it's breaking. And he glued it back together several times and stuff. So he asked if I could make it out of aluminum or something, that I had laying around. I do have some plastic here, but I think for longevity, that way I don't have to do it again, I'll use a piece of aluminum. A lot of the stuff on the back here isn't critical. This could be solid across here. I don't have to, cut all this away. This does have to be cut away. This is where the lock goes in to lock the unit into place. And then I'll have to put the 4 countersunk screws in, then these 2 slots, because that's where a tool goes in so you can turn it. So that'll all have to be done, but a lot of this stuff is not necessary. This recess in here has to be cut in. That's for another piece to fit inside that. So it's a pretty simple job. I think what we'll do is we'll turn it out on the lathe. I was taking some measurements here. It's under a 1/4 inch. So I have some 1/4 inch stock laying here. I already marked the center, which I've already showed you before. I just, did this real quick, marked the center pointed it. That way I can center it up in the lathe. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Might be the easiest thing to do. Then I'll put it over the mill, and then we'll go ahead and cut these, or drill these 4 screws and countersink them. Drill this in, cut that slot. I'm not sure how I'm going to hold that part yet. I might have to make an adapter plate, but if I do, I do. We'll see when I get to that point. So, alright, let's get set up on the lathe here. I'll show you how I get everything set up, and I'll probably do the back first. We'll cut the OD. Actually, we may cut the OD completely first, I'm not sure. Then we'll go ahead and cut this recess in, and then cut the other side. And that'll be pretty much it. I may put it on the smaller lathe too, whenever I get this all cut out, because I might be able to clamp in the inside a little bit better to finish the outside. And a lot of these dimensions are not critical as well, so. Alright. Okay, I got it set up here in the lathe. I already showed you this before about using this guy here to help you center your workpiece in a forge awl. Like I said, there's multiple ways you can do it, especially for something thin like this. You don't have much clamping into these jaws here, so it's hard to, go off the corners here and then zero it that way. So this is definitely an easier way to do that. And like I said, there is other ways, but you can see it's pretty close. It's not crazy far off right now. What are we? Looks like about 20 thousandths. So we'll just go ahead and work her in. Right there she is. She's pretty close. I'm going to snug up the jaws. You got to be careful too when you're clamping something thin. It can push out. But I don't know if you can see that very well, but if I maybe cup it there, you can see it's maybe a thou out right now. So I mean, especially for what we're doing, that's nothing. To get this flat in here, you bump it around. So here's a high spot. And you can see I'm only a few thousandths out. There's a high, and there. Oh, that dropped real low. But you get the idea. So I'm pretty much there anyway. It's close enough for what we're going to be doing, so I'm going to leave it and then we'll start cutting. I started cutting this piece here, and I'm actually having a difficult time cutting it. I shouldn't say a difficult time cutting it. It wants to chatter a lot on me, and it's because it's so thin here. And although the finish on the face isn't that bad, I'm going to go ahead and go with it. A thicker plate would help, or I may even, to go ahead and do the center bore, I may make a plate and put in here and screw this one to it. I'm not sure, but just wanted to kind of bring you in and show you that, you know, it's working. It's just not great. Okay, so after looking at this, basically this is this piece here. So the OD's pretty much cut to size, and I just faced this purposely just to kind of clean it up. Otherwise, it really didn't need faced. I think what I'm going to do is cut this ring in here. Go ahead and bore the center, cut this ring in here, and then I might be able to grip it in my smaller lathe and flip it over and then finish the outside and maybe face this other side here before we put it in the mill to get all this other stuff drilled in. So I think that's my plan of attack. So I say let's get started. Alright, I got the center drill in here. I have an 1 16" drill bit we'll throw in, because we really don't care about the size of the hole since we're going to be boring it anyway. So we're just putting a hole in it so we can get the boring bar in there. Okay, simple enough. Okay, we're back here. We're going to go ahead and, this is just some lube. I put the boring bar in here, and we need to turn this hole out. So we started with 1 16", and we need to go, it looks like 2.52, somewhere roughly in there. That's what the ID of this hole here is. So let's get started. We'll touch off. Set our 0. We'll take off. About 40, which would be 80 thousandths. Okay, this is the last pass. This is just the spring pass. So very little is going to come out. But I measured it. I creeped on throwing it a little bit faster than I thought I would. So one of the nice things here is I actually have the piece that fits in here. I was shooting for 2.52 and I was 2.518, so I'm right there. It's 5.2, so it's really close. So this is the piece that fits inside here, and it fits in with no problem. In fact, it fits a lot better than I thought it would. So I'm going to stop cutting that. Hopefully it's not too sloppy. Looking at this, looks like it could have been a little tighter on it. The problem is whenever you have something that's broke, it's hard to actually get real dimensions. So I'm trying the best that I can, but there's a little bit of wobble, but not much. But it's also screwed down with 2 screws too, so it won't be an issue. So we'll start getting this lip cut in here, which is this lip here. And we'll go with that. Cat, shut the fuck up. So this lip, like I said, none of these dimensions are critical either. Little burr on there. Looks like 112 thousandths deep. And it has a diameter of 2.72. That's what will make it. So 2.272 and 112 deep. Just to give you an idea, what I did is I run my bit just to where it touches there. Then I set my dial indicator down here to 0. That way we can run in 112. The other way of doing this too is we could put our bit here, since we have set to 0. We can run this to 112 and then set that to 0 as our stop. So there's a couple ways to do that too. Okay, so after doing some measurements here, right now this hole is at 2.52, and we need to make that lip 2.72. So it's 200 thousandths got to come out of there. So that's pretty light, really. Here's a 100 thousandths, and I may hand feed it only purposely, because we don't need to go that much depth here. Alright. And the other 100. Let's measure it here. 2.718. Perfect. Let's measure the depth. .105. I always leave a few thousandths on the bottom purposely. That way, kind of get a cleanup pass. So that's all we're going to do here. Okay. Now we should be still saying 105. There may be a burr there, I'm not sure. I'm just going to use the regular hand deburr. Try to get in there and get this guy. Get the back one. No, don't feel bad. This isn't the accurate way to read it either, but I keep on getting 97 thousandths, and it's supposed to be 112. So I missed that point, or missed something here. So if it's 100, just add a few more thousandths and we'll cut it out. And the dimension here is not critical either, but still wouldn't mind getting it as close as I could. Alright. There you go, 110. That's what I measured on the other one. So I'm going to call this side here done. I need to take this burr here off. But otherwise, this side here is done. I'm hoping I can sneak in there with this, but I'm not sure. It makes it. Just barely, but it makes it. Perfect. So everything's deburred. I think what I'm going to do is clamp this in my smaller lathe now. I'm hoping that I can clamp on this lip without distorting anything too much. And then get it tight to the jaws or even parallels. And then we'll cut the back side of it and get it to the thickness that we need. Then after that, the lathe work will be done, and then it'll be all mill work, is in punching all the holes and getting them counterbored. But otherwise, we're almost there. Okay, so I'm back over here in the small lathe. I had to take and sand these corners down because I couldn't, it kept on hitting the bed here. That's what you have with smaller lathes, but it does clamp in. It doesn't seem to be a problem. I already checked it with the indicator, and it's running pretty true to this face here. So pretty much just cut it to size. So we're ready to start. I'm trying not to push it too much because I don't want it to we're not biting very much in this lip here, so I don't want it to push off or something happen. So I'm trying to be generous in my cuts here. I'm taking roughly about 40 thousandths in the pass here. I'm going to try not to go crazy. have this, it'll weld to the tip. Aluminum does that a lot. Okay, you can see that we're not far off, so we're going to start going real light cuts, because we'd like to blend that in if we can. Okay. Yeah, we're looks like about 40 thousandths off. So we'll just keep going. Lube on it, see if we can get a little bit better finish towards the end here. Close now. I'm going to get these burrs out of here. I don't like them flying around. Yeah, we're really close here. Another half a thousandths. Just a little bit more. It's almost there. Look at that. She blended right in. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Since I have this cutter in here, I'm going to go ahead and deburr this edge. And then we'll take a measurement and see what the thickness is and see where we need, how much we need to cut off. That's plenty. Okay, so this thickness is supposed to be 212, right around there, point, so 210 thousandths, 212 thousandths. And again, it's not critical, but we're measuring 241, so not a whole lot to take off. So let's touch off and like I said, we didn't have to take a whole lot off of this. Let's see where we're at. And we'll look, we're at 211 right there, so we better stop. So, good, we're there. Let's deburr. Looks good. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to deburr that in here, so I'm going to have to do that by hand, but otherwise I think it looks pretty good. So there it is right now. All we need is the 4 holes punched in it and that one notch, actually 5 holes for the one lock, but and then let's mill this area out here and I think we're good to go.